June 7th, 2015. Welcome to Faces and Aces Las Vegas, a podcast where we share great Vegas stories and discuss tips and tricks on how to make your Vegas trip a better experience. This week is episode 2, 28 Hours in Vegas, part 2. In the Faces segment, we will finish our trip report of our most recent visit to Sin City. In the Aces segment, we'll talk about the Downtown Container Park and the 360 Vegas podcast. Also, we have our What Happened in Vegas news segment. Katie helps us prep for our next Vegas trip. And we have our Tip the Player segment. Our website is facesandaceslv.com. Our email address is contact@facesandaceslv.com. Our phone number is 702-381-3657. Okay, place your bets. Rolling.
Go ahead.
Welcome to Faces and Aces Las Vegas. We're here with
Katie.
And Aaron.
And Chris. Hey, man. How you guys doing?
Good.
We're all here.
Yeah. Okay. It's nice to be back in the little podcast studio.
In the Podverse.
So we made it through episode 1.
We survived. We should get shirts. I think we should have like a weekly dues every time we do this. Like maybe like $2 each. And then when we actually go to Vegas, we have to bet on a number.
That's actually not a bad idea. Every time we get together, we kick in
Put
like
a
$1.
$1.
Yeah. And then we take all that money and we next time
we bet it on black, maybe?
Yeah, that's not a bad
idea. We should pick a
idea.
number.
Speaking of which, going to Vegas, someone's going soon. Who's that?
I would believe it's the boys. The boys are going.
It's very true.
And I am very happy for them, and they will have a great time in that ridiculous heat. Have a good time, boys.
I like to stay inside when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah, there's nothing better than summertime in Vegas.
I don't know about that. I don't agree with that, Steven.
There are times where it could be hotter.
I like the off hot season.
So, yeah, okay, so we are going. We're going to Vegas. Aaron and I, we made a decision to go. And the reason why we're going is because the 360 Vegas podcast guys are going to be out there. And they're inviting people to come out there and join them. It's called, oh man, I really should have known this before I jumped into it. It's called like Happy Vegas #2, Vegas Vacation #2. This is their second time that they've gone out there.
Road.
Exactly. Yeah. This is their Vegas Vacation #2. And they're inviting their listeners to come out and join them. And we want to go over there and say hi and be friendly. And they're really good guys. And it's funny because when we started doing this podcast, I had certain ideas on how to set it up. I wanted to have this really cool Ocean's 11 music. I wanted to have just ambient casino noise in the background. I wanted to have these really cool intro and outro songs between segments. And yeah, you wanted to jump in?
I was just saying, I see your little dream journal here with all your ideas in it, and we can only do so many of these ideas.
Well, it turns out they were doing that already, and these guys have been around for more than 5 years. So that's the reason why I reached out to them in the first place, because I didn't want them to think that we were copying them in any way. And, mind you, this is after I had like bought Ocean's 11, like royalty, like I paid for music to use on the pod.
Wow.
So I had to reach out to them and say, guys, I'm so sorry. It's money spent. But they were really gracious about it. The guys who wrote me back, they said, hey, have fun. Good luck to you. Have a ball. That's the most important thing about podcasting. Right?
It's kind of like the Vegas spirit anyway. Just whatever. Just have fun, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're playing blackjack at a table and everyone's on the same team. There are no rogue people doing what... I'm looking at Aaron as I talk about this.
I'm the rogue person.
We're going to sit down when we go. We're going to sit down and play a little bit of blackjack. Are you down?
I'm down to play blackjack, but I will be the rebel spy, so to speak. So...
Oh, you break my heart. You have to show you that everybody has to play as a team. It's us against them. That's how the MIT people did it. It was like a team against the house.
They were counting cards, though, Chris. That's a different thing.
We can't count cards?
If you want to count cards, unofficially, not for the record, I might be interested.
Me too. Unofficially, not for the record, we may have to have a conversation off mic.
Oh, God.
I heard you guys talking about going out and buying a new bread maker. You want him to come home with the bread maker?
I do.
Bring home the bread, as it were.
Chris, please remind him of that when you're there. Can you?
Okay, I
Can you
will.
be like, Katie needs that bread maker?
I will. I'll make sure we stop by an electronics store on the way home or a cooking store. Or,
Well, they have the outlets, the Williams Sonoma outlet on the way out where you guys got where we got gas last time. Make him get one.
so
I want a bread maker, everybody. You hear that?
So we made reservations and arrangements to stay at our different places while we're going to be in Vegas. Aaron, where are you staying this time?
First night I'll be at Signature at MGM Grand, and pretty excited about that. Stayed there before, but not for a little while, so I'm going to see if it still holds up to the same standards.
Yeah.
And where are you the first night, Chris?
Night one, I'm just doing an Airbnb. Trying something that I've never tried in Las Vegas before.
Aaron's cringing right now, just everybody, so they know.
Yeah, and what exactly is that going to be like? Because there's a lot of different Airbnb experiences that you can have, and some of them seem less awful than others.
Man, no, this is living. This is getting out there, meeting people.
I feel like Chris is really into the whole alternative accommodation situation. He wants to see what's out there versus the run-of-the-mill luxury resort and hotel experience that Aaron is right now feeling in his veins.
Well, man, been there, done that. I've stayed at almost every single hotel on the strip at this point. Not all of them, but most of them.
All the good ones.
All the good ones, some of the bad ones. Yeah, I mean, I've been going there since college. So.
Circus?
Oh,
when I was a
God.
kid. Someone had to bring up Circus. You should have to kick in $1 into the pool every time you bring up Circus.
It's worth it. So there's a lot of different options though for Airbnb. So I would think, like I was saying, some of them don't sound as bad as others. I mean, are you renting a whole place, or are you doing what I envision you're doing?
I'm staying over at Kate's place.
So it's like a 2-bedroom place. You're
It's a
going to
2-bedroom.
You're
I
going
get
to
one.
get really close and make friends with this person.
Well, she has agreed to be interviewed for the podcast, so we can get that kind of. She started doing this back in. Oh man, I want to say February is when she started doing Airbnb. So she's new to this experience as well.
Are you sharing a bathroom, like a shared
I don't
shared
think
bathroom?
so. I don't think
Isn't
so.
that something you look at on the website? At least I would.
I would think that.
You don't even know. You don't even know. What's the Wi-Fi situation?
There is Wi-Fi and there is a shared living space, and her living room looks lovely. And I pretty much need somewhere to crash and sleep for a good 6-7 hours, and that's all I really need.
And I bet she'll be very.
Are the prices comparable?
The prices are cheap. Well, it's Thursday night, so it's pretty cheap. I think I'm paying $60.
Yeah,
Oh.
but that still.
Yeah.
I mean,
Aaron would probably rent a condo for a full year lease before he did Airbnb.
Okay, so
Am I right, Aaron? Just
you were partially
Yeah,
correct.
there we
I
go.
don't have
See,
to
there I did
accept
it.
your premise, though.
Yeah.
But for the price, that's a very good price. But honestly, sharing a room with someone else it sounds absolutely terrible. But
share with me.
But I know it sounds absolutely terrible. But we're going to meet Kate at some point, and I'm sure that I'll change my tune and my horn, so to speak.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other questions that I'm sure I'll ask you about your Airbnb experience.
I'm honestly looking forward to it because this is something different. This is something I haven't gotten out of Vegas yet. Going out there and just meeting someone who seems to be very friendly. On her profile, it says she's open to showing me around the strip. Say if I had never been there before, she says I'll play tour guide. I'll take you around, show you some cool
That's kinda
places.
neat.
How many hours do you get included in the package?
I think that's just her being a nice person. And that's one of the things that drew me to her profile. She seemed like a genuinely just nice, kind
No one
person.
can lie on a profile. While you're there, I'll be in solitude at one of the big resorts, like I told you about.
Yeah.
At Signature,
ordering room service.
having no one in the room next to me. That I have to get in the common shared space and be very polite about the TV remote control or any normal type usual things that you would experience in the shared situation.
I think it's really interesting what she's doing, and I have a million questions for her. Do you have any thoughts on this, Katie?
There
What if-
are
ooh.
some situations.
Have you ever done Airbnb ever?
Never. I've never done it. My brother said.
I personally haven't rented a place,
Yeah.
but I've stayed in an Airbnb property with somebody.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really cool situation in Comic-Con. So
Okay.
So San Diego.
yeah,
It was
in San Diego. And
That's cool.
what they did was they rented a 2-bedroom condo and they had it for 2 weeks. It was actually really cool. I was fine with it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good experience.
But then when they did it again, they got this really cool loft, and the loft didn't have air conditioning. It was really hot. So they didn't have a good experience with that one. But
But those options were available too. For example, if Aaron and I wanted to get a condo and just get a 2-bedroom and stay there, we could have done
Aaron
that.
is not an Airbnb kind of person. Aaron's a hotel kind of girl.
Yeah. I mean, downside is
don't even know what that means.
it is off strip, but thankfully we'll have a car there so I can drive to, back and forth.
Well, you'll have a car. I think you're driving this time.
Yeah, I'm driving this time, and you're going to be, I'm not leaving you too high and dry. You're going to be on the strip in a luxury hotel. I'm not going to cry for you.
That's true. I might be crying a little bit, but
for all I know,
tears.
For all I know, I'm going to wake up in a bathtub with my kidneys gone.
Well, exactly. And if that happens, I'll know, where you're staying and what profile to report.
Yeah.
So no big deal. But then, Chris, are you coming back to civilization, on day 2, because that's what I heard.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing it there. Night 2.
Night 2.
I'm going to crash out over at the old favorite of mine, Planet Hollywood.
I love Planet Hollywood.
It's a fun place.
I like that place since it was Aladdin. So for night 2, I've taken something off my bucket list that I haven't actually stayed at this hotel. So I'll be at the Four Seasons in Mandalay Bay at the
Really?
top.
That's
I am.
awesome.
I found a way to
Why
get
can't I stay there with you?
You can. You're welcome to join me.
No, he's making that face where he's like, you're not going to go.
You're not going to go. You're having a little girl party.
Can we stay there one time?
We should be able to. Absolutely. I found a way to get an amazing deal.
That means he wants me to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
I got an amazing deal this time. The prices just I've never felt worth it to do it.
Yeah.
But I was able to book, and I'll tell you guys about this later in one of our other podcasts.
Yeah.
But I found a way to book it for a significant savings.
So stay tuned, people.
So stay tuned, because this is the Four Seasons, and you normally can't get any sort of discount with them. So.
Is this a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, like a suite? What are you getting?
It's a regular room. It's a regular room, but it's just at the Four Seasons,
Nice.
which is good.
Just before you get to or outside of Mandalay.
Well, it's actually,
Mandalay.
many people don't know this, but the Four Seasons is on the Strip.
Yeah.
It's the main Mandalay Bay Tower. The top 5 floors is the Four Seasons. They have their own valet entrance. They have their own lobby.
I know, he's not even letting me stay with him.
Can I stay with you?
You can
Right?
join me. I'm
Forget
welcome.
about Planet
So
Hollywood.
unfair,
Welcome to
right?
all. But the great thing, I'm staying at this whole trip. I'm staying at the Signature, which is part of MGM Grand, and I'm staying at Four Seasons, which is really part of Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
So pools are a big thing to me, and I'm going to experience this time the MGM pools, which are humongous, and the Mandalay Bay pools, which are awesome. And there's also a Four Seasons pool there, which is quiet and Four Seasons-y.
Yeah, and plus we're right in the middle or at the beginning of summer, so you're going to have some nice pool weather.
I do like the nice pool and drink weather.
Yeah. So are we...
I think we're ready for the news. Love it.
Yeah, I really dig that.
All right. This week's news for Las Vegas. NBC orders Wesley Snipes' TV show called The Player to series.
Mr. Kane, my name is Mr. Johnson. This is the house where the probabilities of criminal activity are determined. There are always 3 members of the house. Cassandra is the dealer, and I am the pit boss.
Will you be our player?
Wow.
So, Source and Variety here from the executive producers of The Blacklist, one of Aaron's favorite shows, comes an action-packed Las Vegas thriller about a former military operative turned security expert who is drawn into a high-stakes game where an organization of wealthy individuals gamble on his ability to stop some of the biggest crimes imaginable.
We watched the trailer.
Here's the thing.
Okay, what's the thing? Okay, first of all,
are you that rich that you have to bet on silly crimes that they could be committed or not?
Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there. We're in a golden age of TV, and this show, I don't know if it's going to be bad enough to be good or if it's just going to be silly. I like Wesley Snipes a lot, and I'm really sad that this is the show that he picked.
I mean, the concept seems like I would like it, though.
Yeah.
It's silly, but you used in your little intro, Katie, you used all the trigger words that would normally make me love a movie. You know, crime, wealthy, I forgot all the other words you said, but it was great words.
To me, it's too much. All right, moving on to our next story. Elizabeth Hurley shares an amazing flashback photo of her on a stripper pole in Vegas.
Pretty amazing.
I'm shimmying. So I'm sourcing ET here. Elizabeth Hurley, obviously known for having a good time at Always. This week, the actress Instagram an interesting throwback shot of her hanging upside down from a gold stripper pole, wearing a sparkly two-piece bikini, matching high heels and knee-high boots. And saying she has no regrets. Misspent youth. Vague hashtag Vegas, hashtag best memories, she captioned with the eyebrow raising photo. Yeah. She looks amazing. I mean, she looks great then. She looks great now. Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad about it. Like, show it off. If you took that picture and you want to show it now, they didn't have Instagram in 1995, so go for it.
She gives inspiration to all the strippers now out there.
As long as you label it as a throwback and you don't try to act like you took this yesterday, that's all I'm saying. Moving on to our next story. Spaceship Hotel in Baker breaks ground. The most calming theme song to me. I love X-Files. That's a little unknown fact to you now.
And
everyone.
that wasn't a corny show.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
I thought you would dig that.
X-Files, help Mulder and Scully for life. Okay, anyway. The plans for the 31-room full-size spaceship hotel will allow for guests to stay the night in alien-themed rooms and dine in an alien-themed restaurant. The hope is to draw sci-fi fans to enjoy an alien-themed lobby, spa, nightclub. Alien uniformed employees will use a modern touchscreen technology to check in their guests. Guests will walk through the hallways that look like they're on a Star Wars set, the photo ops and alien charging pods throughout. But this will not be cheap, people. Rooms are expected to start at $300 a night and as much as $1,000 a night.
Yeah.
For Baker.
And the source was NBC4 News.
Yeah. Could be fun. I don't know if I would spend... Okay. What scenario would you spend the night there?
I would.
Oh, just flat out you would?
Yeah, and I would do it as early as possible. Like,
really?
Yeah. See, now here's some people think, let them work out the kinks. I'll go when it's good. Vegas, you have to do it immediately because someone's going to mess it up later. So it's going to be old, run down, used, or something like that. And I'm all about just experiencing it when it's supposed to be seen brand spanking new.
Yeah.
So you actually want to do this?
Yes.
Because I'll tell you my scenario when I'd stay at this hotel. If my car broke down right in front of that hotel and I had to stay there. I mean, how many people... I get the traction with the beef jerky store. It's good beef jerky. From the time that I had been there a long time ago, in the most recent visits, they expanded that store.
Yeah.
But still, I can't imagine who would actually want to just stay there.
I'm all about Baker. Well, okay. I'm all about theming. So I want to see how well themed these rooms are. So I would do it. I would do it with some of my friends that are really into this kind of stuff. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I was telling Chris, maybe if it were a brothel, it would be more popular.
An alien brothel.
You know, you would get probed or something.
That is too much info for me. Yeah, I don't think that would be it. But I mean, there's a lot of themed hotels like the Madonna Inn in Northern California that there are people that specifically seek these things out.
Yeah, it's something.
I don't know. I think it's going to happen? No. Would it be cool? Yes. The problem with futuristic designs is they're not futuristic in 10 years. So whatever.
Okay. Yeah, and having the iPads won't even be futuristic now.
They're not going to have iPads with any super awesome technology. So
well,
it'll be okay.
with this news story specifically, what the advantage that we have over any other Las Vegas themed podcast out there, as far as I know, we're the only ones based in LA. There's ones based in San Diego, one based elsewhere. So we could stay on top of this story.
We could be there an hour.
We are on it.
We can be there an hour or two faster than the people in San Diego.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
We will be the eyes and ears for you about the UFO hotel.
We are on it. UFO Watch 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19. It will not be done in our lifetime.
Trust us.
Whatever. All right, moving on. Life is Beautiful, people, and here's the 2015 lineup for that. Stop it. Is Madonna going to be there?
No, Madonna
I know.
is not
well,
there.
that was a tease. Okay. So our
music
sources
makes the people come together.
All right, whatever, but it's Madonna. So this is from spin.com. The Music, Food, and Art and Learning Festival will feature Stevie Wonder, Imagine Dragons, Kendrick Lamar. They're going to headline that 3-day event, and other artists include Duran Duran, which I feel like is a headliner.
Yeah, seriously.
Hoser, Kid Cudi, Weezer, Death Cab for Cutie. Let's do this.
Right?
So they also have Art Motel 2015, which they are aiming for an eclectic showcase of artwork and interactive installation, for the Life is Beautiful Art Motel. Each of the 15 motel rooms are approximately 10 by 10 with prime white walls. The entire room is your canvas. Each of the large courtyard murals are approximately 8 by 20.
And what, they erase it when you're done?
There's a lot of like artistic hotel compilations around the world that people, like famous artists, go and design a room, like a hotel room, and people pay to stay in those rooms. So
I'm going to pull something up so you guys can see it.
There's a Hello Kitty room at the Line Hotel.
This is something that I looked into earlier today. Well, actually, last week you brought it up to me that the Life is Beautiful Festival released their lineup. And I always thought that it was just a music concert like Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
And then you would have the surrounding things of like the food trucks would come in. And yeah, of course, there'd be food and you could buy bottled water like a festival.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought it was. This is a lot bigger than that. And I didn't know it until I looked into it a little bit today for today's show. I actually have a little clip.
Go for it.
So Life is Beautiful is a music, food, art, and learning festival in the heart of downtown Las Vegas. It's equal parts music, food, art, and learning in that it's 4 festivals all built into one on one weekend. So downtown Las Vegas is really where the original history started. It's where the original culture started. Bugsy Siegel and the El Cortez, and you got the Rat Pack. It's got so much history and it's such a beautiful area, but it was long forgotten for decades. And now we're in the middle of a full redevelopment program to take downtown Las Vegas, a part of the city that most people forgot or never heard of, and turn into a fully functioning arts and tech-centric city.
That is super cool. I'm really excited about it.
Did you hear him that he said it's equal parts learning and music?
Yeah.
So there's as much learning as there is music.
So
that's a lot of learning.
So Duran Duran, after they do their set, will come down and teach you something.
And there will be a quiz.
Duran Duran will teach knitting.
I'm in. I'm so excited about this. I may want to volunteer for it. The festival is September 25th through the 27th.
What are you going to teach?
Well, no, I don't want to teach anything. I want to volunteer to participate and help put on the festival.
I would love to do that too.
This is so cool.
I'd rather them pay me if volunteer.
I'd like to volunteer.
I
I
wanna
can teach
volunteer.
random things.
Yeah. I mean, whatever they need me for,
I can
I'm
make
there.
flower crowns. I'm pretty good at that.
Let's see, what would I teach? I would teach.
I'm pretty creative.
Popsicle necklaces.
I'm like the half Asian Martha Stewart. Everyone knows this. Literally, I can whip stuff up in no time.
Yeah, I can make a mean pot roast.
Okay. Well, moving on. Hooters Casino and Hotel sold for $54 million. The source is the Las Vegas Sun. Hooters Casino Hotel has been snapped up by the resort investment company Trinity Hotel Investments of New York. The $53.8 million sale was recorded May 1st, a day after hotel employees were notified of their impending transaction. Early indications are that the hotel will continue to serve as a functional hotel casino, maintaining its gaming license and also still being the home of Hooters restaurant. That is the most profitable in the company's chain of eateries in the United States.
So, okay, Aaron, you bought this hotel casino. What are you going to convert it into? What's
An
the
owl
theme?
cafe.
Well, like I was joking.
Isn't that what
they
Hooters already is?
they could
That
give
was
it,
a joke. When we went to Japan, we went to an owl cafe where you get to hold baby owls. And
Yeah.
then we saw Hooters in Shibuya and we're like, the other owl cafe.
That was funny.
Same size Hooters, baby owls.
But if I bought this hotel, you don't think enlarging the hotel would be good? Making it bigger?
Enhancing
it?
Are you saying going from a size C to a size D? You could call it the double D hotel.
I would.
What do you-
I would knock it down and build something worthwhile. But it's not even on the strip, so I wouldn't even buy it in the first place.
No,
if
but
I
I'm
won't
saying
stay
what's
there,
worthwhile.
It's a franchise that works for some, and it's probably a local casino for people. Like it's
Probably.
a locals place.
I
Like,
go there
you
for the
know.
wings.
I feel that $50 million is a steal, though, for that.
Oh yeah, for Vegas property.
Yeah,
I hope they enlarge the cup size because the drinks I've gotten there before were not very.
I always like the large cups.
All right, I think that's it for the news.
No. Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're done. And that's what happened in Vegas.
And that's what happened in Vegas.
This week in Faces, we have part 2 of our 28 Hours in Vegas story. Normally, this is the part of the show where we talk to the amazing people who live and work in Las Vegas. You know, the chefs, the dealers, the bartenders, the unsung heroes who make the city a great place to visit. But for the first 2 episodes, we're using the Faces segment to introduce ourselves to you, the listening audience. If you didn't get a chance to listen to part 1, please go back to episode 1. The first half of this story is there. Here's the second half of the story. So please enjoy part 2 of 28 Hours in Vegas. Our next stop was we went to the Riviera. I think we kind of just went to the Riviera just to feel like we were there before it closed.
I did it because you said we're going to Riviera.
So we could steal
I would have stayed at Palazzo.
so we could steal an ashtray or whatever they got going on there. It was just worth going to because it was going to close in another week or 2, so we had to at least stop by and say goodbye.
I wanted to bid on some things for the auction, though.
Pour a little drink out for our homie.
Get a big electric sign for my room. Something obnoxious.
So we ended up hanging out there. Katie, you played slots.
No, I did not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do
You
not
played
say that.
craps.
There you go.
Aaron played slots. I played a little bit of slots with you, Aaron.
Yeah, I did the video roulette too. I normally like when it's a person doing it, but you know, they don't have too many people still working at that hotel. Yeah. And then when you were at the tables, Chris, I know that the dealer gave you a little sass.
Well, I gave up on the slots because I was playing. I'm a sucker for Wheel of Fortune slot machines.
Me too. I love those.
Yeah, so I lost a little bit on the slot machine, and I thought I would try to get some of it back over on the roulette table, which is where I thought you would be, since you're a fan of roulette.
I don't like when they're so packed that you have to touch the people next to you.
It wasn't that crowded. It was pretty empty. I found a spot.
Were you at
right
the
away.
same casino that I was at?
Yeah, because I found a spot right away. I was just walking by a roulette table and I looked up at that strip of numbers that tells you what's come out, like the last 10, 15 spins.
Oh, the sucker board?
Yeah, the sucker board. Well, I'll tell you what this sucker did is I saw that it hit red 4 times in a row. And so I said, all right, it's on a streak. I'm going to bet red. And so I put $10 down on red and it hit. And so I got $10 back.
And for our audience, we know that the probability of one roll, the next roll doesn't really matter. So if it goes all red, there's still the same chance of that it's red the next time.
But I'm a big believer in the streak. I think streaks happen. I'm a firm believer in blackjack roulette. I believe in the streak. So, but here's how it paid out, because I said, okay, it won. Let's leave the 10 and just let it ride. And so for 5 or 6 more roll or spins, it just kept hitting red, and I kept pocketing $10, $10, $10. I got about $50. And I said, hey, that's good. And, let's make sure to take care of the dealer. Throw the dealer $5. That seems about right. And then I guess you were done, Katie, with craps. Aaron, you were done with roulette. You said, all right, let's go. We're done here. Yeah. So I said, okay, before we leave, I have to play my number. My number is 8. So I put $5 on 8 straight up, and it hit. And I got paid.
I was so mad. I wish I would have done that.
I got paid $175, which is not bad. I got the money back that I lost on the slot machine.
$5.
Yeah,
so betting $10 or whatever you did.
So I gave, I got paid out, and I gave the dealer another $5. To which she says to me, "No, we hear the story in 2 different ways. I feel like I got scolded. I feel like she said to me, "Oh, I give you $200, you only give me $5." I thought she scolded me. Is that not the case?
She did.
Right?
She did scold you.
Okay, good.
Well, first she asked what kind of Asian you were.
Yeah, she wanted to know if I was Chinese, because I think she wanted to yell at me in
Korean.
Chinese or in Mandarin or whatever.
Oh,
Cantonese.
thank you so much for $5 on $200 win.
I didn't remember.
Yeah, it sounded a little sarcastic. Like, oh, you won so much and you give me $5. So generous.
I felt more chastised. I thought she said, I give you $200. You only give me $5? I thought it was more like that.
I mean, who actually says that? I know the casino's closing, but I mean, shocking.
Plus, I was there for literally a total of maybe 10 minutes. I don't know what proper tip etiquette is. Maybe it's 10%?
Is she going to give you money back when you most likely lose all your money there?
I'm a decent tipper. I'm not tight when it comes to tipping. I gave her $5 when I had that little run, and I also gave her another $5. Like, I didn't have to, I don't want to be the guy who says I didn't have to give her anything. I don't want to be that guy.
I'm that guy.
But if she gives me attitude, I think I could be that guy in this case. Yeah?
I think you should have asked for that chip back. That's what I think.
Yeah, but the Riviera was closing, and odds are she wasn't going to have a job in another 2 weeks. So you got to have a little bit of sympathy. I'm sure her frustrations were just right there on the surface. So what are you going to do? So after that, we went over to New York, and had a steak. And it's one of my favorite steakhouses. I recommend anyone who's going to Las Vegas, this is my go-to steakhouse, or at least it was my go-to steakhouse, because the place is called Gallagher's, and they have a wonderful, wonderful dry-aged steak. At least my memory, from what I remember, it was a great steak. What did you guys think?
I think it was an excellent steakhouse. However, I think in Las Vegas there are maybe 10 or 15 better ones.
Okay, you have
on Strip.
We're gonna have to.
But
go
for
find
the price, for the price point, I think it's a good deal. The ambiance of the restaurant was pretty cool. Feeling like you're in a cellar, kind of someone's. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a cool ambiance.
I mean, it definitely has a little bit of a slightly old school steakhouse feel. So, also while we were at New York, I introduced you guys to a little bit of Pai Gow, which, did you enjoy that game?
We're not on speaking terms, Pai Gow and myself.
Yeah, Katie? You kind of watched me play just a couple hands.
Yeah, I'm not in it.
Yeah.
We were also really tired at that point.
Yeah.
Aaron was.
You were burned out. I don't even know how you were on your feet.
Maybe if you got me right as we got to Vegas and I was like, yeah, let's play, I would be into it.
We'll do an episode on Pai Gow, but for here, I will just say Pai Gow is the game you play when you just want to order drinks and not lose money. Because you push at least half of the time.
What's funny though? I don't drink when I play.
Oh, I do. Not a lot.
Because you know what?
Yeah.
Craps is a standing game. Now I know why a lot of women don't play craps, because they're wearing heels.
So Aaron, you were pretty much wiped out. So we said, okay, let's call it a night. Oh, the other thing about Pai Gow is you can jump in and out of a table and not mess anybody up. That's another nice thing about Pai Gow.
Just to bring up that point, because we've gone back and forth, Chris.
Yeah.
I jump in and out of blackjack tables all the time, and people say that I mess them up, but I don't really care. I mean, you're
I
the
know,
type
but-
that's like, oh, that guy came in and he messed me up because he got the card that I would have
No,
gotten.
I'm not that guy. I'm holding it back because I want to stay on topic.
I try to throw you off topic.
All right, so we dropped off Aaron and his room because he was sleepy. He's this little sleepy bear.
He was,
I was pretty
He was
sleepy.
a little sleepy bear. He
Yeah,
was so tired.
we put him with his teddy and his blankie.
We tucked him in and he said good night.
Lit a candle for him.
And Chris and I went out to play.
Yeah.
Chris is a connoisseur of Fremont Street, aka he's been there a couple times.
Not a whole bunch, just one
No,
other
I'm just
time
saying.
before.
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
Well, here's how big of a connoisseur I am of Fremont Street. I got lost taking us there.
But okay, so here's the thing. I wanted to take streets.
Yeah.
Chris didn't. He wanted to take freeway.
Right,
But
right.
he humored me because I was driving. So we were driving along, and we saw this really cool shopping center.
Well, there's a couple things that caught our eye. First, it was all the neon on the street. Just before you get to the container park, there was a cafe where a whole bunch of bicycles were parked, and they were all decorated with lights and neon and stuff. That kind of caught our eye. We said, "Hey, what's that? Let's drive down this street." And so we headed towards that direction. Next to that was the container park, where there was a big, giant praying mantis blowing fire. That caught our attention too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we just kind of said, what is this? I've never seen this. And at the time when we were looking at it, I totally forgot until we actually got inside that I remembered, oh yeah, this is a small little shopping district that the guy who started Zappos wanted to create for the downtown area so his employees had somewhere to go hang out.
It's amazing. I loved it.
Super cool. Yeah, artsy.
So they want you to walk all around this area and wear out your shoes so that you'll buy more Zappos shoes?
No, it's not that big. But they had,
They encourage walking.
it's all
though.
made out of shipping containers.
Yeah, I was
and it's
wondering why
3
it was all
stories tall.
sandpaper everywhere.
And it's just so unique and so Portland-esque with an LA vibe. I just really liked it. And they have a playground in the middle for kids, but at night, kids aren't allowed
Adult playground.
Yeah,
in
9
the
o'clock.
area.
Yeah,
9
because they serve
o'clock.
alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was so cool because we could play in the playground and the slides were so cool. And it was so great.
Super cool little park and a whole bunch of cool little stores too.
And that praying mantis that blew fire. I mean, but who
yeah.
hasn't seen a giant praying mantis that blows fire?
Yeah, everyone's seen that.
Right.
But it's definitely worth checking out. And it's a great little place if you want a little break from all the gambling, the eating, the smoke, the alcohol. If you just want a little oasis from the oasis, go there and just chill for a little while. That's what we did. I felt rejuvenated by it.
You can't gamble there?
There's no gambling there, man. It's just shopping. It's shopping, coffee, maybe get yourself a glass of beer. But they have an outdoor stage, people playing music. It's very chill. It's a good place. It's a great place to just kind of regroup and not feel like you're in Vegas if you just need a little bit of a break from that. Go online, take a look. It's called the Container Park in downtown Las Vegas.
So I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a great time. And so we had our time there. We walked away and then we're like, okay, now Fremont. So we walked down Fremont to play craps because
I've
Chris
never
wanted
played.
to learn. Chris wanted to learn.
I've been to Vegas more times than I can count. I've never played craps.
So we went to the D.
Yeah, we went to a couple places.
I played there. You played blackjack there.
I got killed everywhere
And then
we went.
Golden Gate. And then we played Four Queens. And you made some of your money back playing craps.
Yes, I did. First time lucky is what they say.
So it was an interesting table amount. The min was $3. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's like so low.
They don't want to drop it down to the
Cheap, cheap,
dollar,
cheap.
but $3.
They had a $1 one. They had a $1 table and a $3 table, and it's surprisingly the $3 table is more crowded than the $1 table.
That's surprising.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Because you could bet $3 at a dollar table.
And this is a Saturday night too. Saturday night around, what was it, 11, 12?
Oh yeah, it was like around midnight.
Yeah, like during the hot time of the weekend, and they still have $3 craps. That's crazy.
time.
Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted, if we were on the strip, it'd be, at least a $20 minimum.
Yeah, which is nice for me
And I
because
was
I
like,
don't.
but as I was explaining to you, craps is a little different. You spread your money all over the place.
Yeah.
So
you're not necessarily doing one $3 bet. You're doing a few of those.
So if I'm at a $5 table, I'm actually, betting 15 versus the $5 that they say you're going to bet.
So we played craps, called it a night around 1 a.m. I went back to the Rio.
You were staying at the Rio.
And it was about 1:30 in the morning, and it was pretty empty. I found that pretty surprising.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Laziness.
we all slept a little bit. Aaron slept a lot. Next morning, you took a cab to Planet Hollywood.
Oh yeah, by the way, from the Palazzo, I took a cab back to Rio, then Rio took another cab back to, this time I took it to Planet Hollywood. It was a little bit cheaper. It was only $10.
Expensive. So it's cheaper to go farther away, to go.
No, Planet Hollywood's closer to the Rio.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you
you're right. It's
yeah.
just down the street and not too much down the strip.
Exactly. I can't remember if it's Tropicana or Paradise, but basically you just go up one street and then you're right at Planet Hollywood.
I want to say that's
Tropicana. I think it's Tropicana.
Yeah.
Because if you keep going past it, you get to the off-strip Starbucks.
Yeah, but so that's a way to save.
Yeah, because it's right next door.
Yeah,
You save $5 that
you
way.
could walk. You're
Yeah.
only 3 or 4 miles away walking. The hotels just seem very far. They seem so close. It's just right next door, and then it's a mile and a half that you're walking.
Let's talk really quick about my Target.
Yeah, you got up early. Okay, we went to bed at 1 a.m. and you got up at 6 to go to Target and
5.
At 5 to go to Target? What was
Target
that
in
about?
Las Vegas.
So there was a release for Lily Pulitzer stuff for Target. Famous designer, notorious for Southern girls and sorority girls.
Did she win a prize?
No,
Pulitzer.
whatever. Anyway, the online site Target.com was crashed at midnight when it opened and everyone was trying to buy stuff. I went to Target, made friends with people in line. We got everything we wanted, and
That was amazing that the stuff that you bought at Target you sold online on eBay the next day and basically paid for your trip. That paid for the hotel.
The most phenomenal part
Yeah.
that I found about that story, Katie, is how you made friends with the other people in line. You said, "What department are you going to?" And then, "What department are you going to?" And you each grabbed things for each other at each of the departments.
well, one girl was pregnant actually, and she wanted all the little girl stuff. So she
Yeah.
went and got the little girl stuff. And she was like, well, I really want this blanket and this dress. So I was like, done. Let's pull for each other.
Right. That was pretty amazing.
That's really showing you that there are some
I have
situations
initiative,
where
okay?
teamwork can help. I
was the one that conspiracized, though. I was the one who was like, look, because this lady behind was like, hope you girls know what you want, because whatever you don't get, I'm going to sell on eBay for 5 times the amount.
Was that the one that begged you to give her something?
Yeah.
Ha.
So I was like, F that chick. Let's work together. And they're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So we rocked it. We did a really good job.
And so the moral of the story is don't piss off Katie, because if you do, she'll round up a posse and blow you out of the water. That pretty much is the end of the Vegas trip. We did stop by Buddy Valestro's, had a little bit of breakfast and coffee. Their crumb cake, which is what they're known for, was phenomenal and pretty much should be an ace. Aaron and Katie also stopped by White Castle, which I believe we talked about last episode. It qualifies as a quasi-ace. But in this section, the aces section of the program, we're going to spend a little time in downtown Las Vegas. Katie and I stumbled upon the container park by accident. Neither of us really knew that it existed, and neither of us knew that it is a big part of the revitalization project of the downtown Las Vegas area. What I'd like to do here is, rather than rave about it some more, because I did that in the last segment, here's how Vegas.com describes the park, just so you get a better idea of what it is. Vegas.com describes it as an exciting, sustainable shopping attraction in downtown Las Vegas, the hub for an assortment of small boutiques, galleries, bars, eateries, and outdoor spaces, as well as entertainment and education programming. Situated on the southeast corner of Fremont Street and 7th, downtown Container Park spans approximately 19,000 square feet with a mix of 30 shipping containers and 41 multifunctional cubes forming its perimeter. The west side of the downtown Container Park is filled with small galleries, while the east side focuses on fashion and accessories. Dining and drinking outlets are also peppered throughout the premises. At the center of the development is a playground and interactive zone designed for children. There's a 30-foot tall treehouse with 3 different enticing slides. There's also a huge outdoor stage with a canopy. I can't recommend this place more. You heard me rave about it before. It's just a nice little break from the gambling and the chaos. If you need that, if you need a place to chill that's not your hotel room, this is the place to do it. The next ace that I wanted to talk about is the 360 Vegas podcast. The show is entertaining and it provides a lot of information about Las Vegas, from news to upcoming events. They also provide a lot of great reviews of eateries, shows, and hotels. These guys cover a lot of ground every episode. So even though they don't live in Las Vegas, they are one of this week's Las Vegas aces.
All right. So just really quickly, guys.
Yeah.
You guys are going to Vegas. Chris is staying at Airbnb in Planet Hollywood. Aaron's staying Four Seasons. And what else, Aaron?
Signature at MGM.
Signature at MGM. So, Prince and the Pauper tour.
Yeah.
No hate on you, Chris. But the Prince and the Pauper tour.
I don't know, man. It's $200 a night for Planet Hollywood.
So really quickly, guys, I want a list of 4 things you guys really want to do each. There, and don't make it too long, Aaron. I know that you have your little rundown explanations, but I want to hear what your goals are for this trip. And same with you, Chris.
In my head,
In no particular order.
I have about 10 days worth of stuff that I want to pack in 2 days, but I know that doesn't always happen. Primarily, I think the 4 things that I want to accomplish this time are want to see the M Resort. I always pass that on the way in, and I think we could time it so we can do the buffet either on the way in or the way out to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go back to a steakhouse. Unsure where we're going. We're talking about SW, one of my favorites, but I don't know if I want to try something new. So
you're going to stay at the Four Seasons without me, and you're going to eat at SW.
Actually, the Four Seasons has an excellent steakhouse as well, which that might be one of my favorite ever.
Okay. And then what else?
The number 3 and 4 activities, I have 2 extreme activities that I kind of want to do while I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we spoke about before, which was the like we've discussed, we have a friend who works over there, so we might be able to talk to him and get a little bit of a driving experience. And the second thing that that I really want to do, it sounds unbelievable. You can go, I don't even know exactly where it is yet, but you can go out to this big sandbox, if you will, and rent heavy duty equipment.
Oh, I looked into that. It's really expensive.
It is, but there's
like $300 an hour.
Oh, I thought it was like $200.
No.
You're talking about the bulldozers and the excavators.
So you can go and you can rent a bulldozer. You can rent the other thing that dozes something.
Yeah.
It seems really cool. And I'm looking at it online and showing about $250 for it. It's pretty pricey, but it seems...
You could buy me a bread maker with that $250.
Yeah, I could do that, but this seems really cool. I love digging holes at the beach, and that's with a regular shovel, so I think this will be unbelievable.
Well,
and your last item?
That's 4.
That was 4.
Okay, that was 4. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Chris?
Those are the exact same 4 things that I want to do.
I don't believe that. Go ahead.
I don't believe that.
Well, I do want to win $1,000 at Planet Hollywood while I'm there.
That's one of your goals?
Yeah.
Okay, $1,000 at Planet Hollywood.
And then I want to win $1,000 at Caesar's Palace.
I didn't really know that could be the thing, winning money at each hotel.
And then maybe about $1,500 at.
Are you being serious right now?
Oh, no.
Okay, because I wrote down the first one.
She's taking furious notes.
No, because that's not necessarily. I have a chance of that happening, but I can't really actually make that happen by will. Well, for me, this trip is more about work than play. I mean, I will get some play in, and I haven't really said anything fun-wise. Work is fun. Podcasting is fun. I don't even know if I call it work because I'm excited to actually meet Kate and talk to her about her life in Las Vegas. I also hope to meet up with Piff, the Magic Dragon. He is a magician who lives in Vegas, used to live in London. Now I believe he lived in London, England anyway. And now he lives in Vegas working for Penn and Teller, last I heard. I'm hopefully going to sit down and have coffee or maybe Korean food with him.
Okay.
And then I wanted to meet up with the 360 Vegas guys while they're out there, say hi, say howdy, tip my hat to them, bring over my casserole, and hopefully they'll welcome me to their little podcast party.
What you should do, we can even talk offline about this, but I think you should, not to steal their thunder, but make little buttons or something, like little pins so you can pass out to people that are there.
Pins of our podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't because this is their audience.
Okay.
And I don't want to be perceived as a poacher of any kind.
Okay.
That is pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
I thought I'd try.
But
I would totally do that.
I know. Aaron and I are fearless.
I get the impression that that everyone's really friendly in this podcast community. There's another one going on towards the end of summer.
Do we want to get as cool as them so we can get to this point, or
to have our own little party? We're so late to throwing parties. There's what is the name of it? I wish I could. VIMF, Vegas Internet Mafia Family, or Family Mafia, something of that nature. I'm still learning about it because I'm new to the Vegas podcasting, but there is an established podcast party that happens later on in the early summer, early fall, late summer.
Okay. So those are your 4 things. I get it. Yeah. Awesome.
There's other stuff. I want to interview people at Comic-Con while we're there. Okay. I want to interview people at EDC. And
the reason people that I'm doing this is because I want to see how many things they actually get done without a female around to direct.
You mean without a female telling us other things that we should do?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, without a woman holding us back.
Holding you back. Oh
I also want to see the sharks at Mandalay Bay, and I think I can do that. That's really cool. The aquarium.
Aaron's adding easy things. He's like, I want to pass the Vegas sign. Things like that.
And I think on my bucket
Aaron's
list,
like, I also want to drink 1 bottle of water.
I want to have a complaint that gets resolved, and I think that will happen this trip.
Really? What hotel? Signature? They flagged you for the walnut story, so
I'd like Four Seasons.
That's where the walnut story happened, Chris.
At the Signature?
It did happen at the Signature, but I'd really like the Four Seasons to mess up on something, and I'd like to tell you about what happens when they do. It probably won't happen though.
I would like to have a beer.
Oh my god.
I think I could make that happen. I would try really hard to make that happen at least several times.
And I'm going to try to make sure that doesn't happen.
You
can have anything you want except for a beer.
I imagine a weekend of you just knocking beers out of my hand all weekend.
You just come over and knock it out of your hand.
Like, no.
No.
Or like the slow motion. No.
So I wanted to bring up something random as the last part of this discussion, because we were talking about goals for you guys for this trip. Mm-hmm. I want to tell Aaron that I'm sorry.
Oh, it's going to be funny though.
The second week of April is the Las Vegas State Fair. / rodeo. It's an hour away from Vegas. It's in Clark County, and they have everything that you want.
Yeah,
a little unknown fact about Aaron. Didn't grow up with state fairs like I did.
They were here. I just didn't know about them.
Took him to one. I think we were engaged or dating. I think we were dating.
I don't know. It's all a blur.
We're dating, and I took him to a state fair, and it was love at first sight. I mean, the man is obsessed with state fairs now. Like,
who could say no to fried Krispy Kreme donut?
I mean, we spent all day.
Burger or whatever it was.
Deep
so
fried Twinkie.
mixing the two, state fair and Vegas. I mean, come on.
And she held
That's
out
not
on
even
you.
a gamble.
She
That's
kept
going
it
to
from
be
you.
awesome.
She hid it from you.
So I want to make this pledge to you. Next April, we should go to the state fair in Vegas. It is an hour away, but I think we could do it.
Well, the question is, do you stay nearby and do it as a 2-day sort of thing there, or do you stay on the strip?
The fair's about an hour from us where we live, so
yeah.
Well, the LA County Fair is later on this summer, so why not just take a stop?
Oh, it's not early enough for Aaron. We have to go to Del Mar. We have to go to Ventura. We have to get to Orange County. We have to go to all the fairs before the LA Fair.
We do the tour, the build
And
up
we always
to
say
LA.
every year, we're not going back to these fairs because they're too little, and the LA Fair is the best.
Yeah.
It truly is the best.
No, Del Mar Fair is pretty good. Or San Diego County
San
Fair.
Diego.
Yeah,
County.
but we don't
Yeah.
stay all day because we do it in a day.
Yeah.
So we don't stay the whole time. But
Right. All right. So I'm looking forward to our trip, buddy.
Me too.
It'll be a good trip. And Katie will come back with a full report. Okay, so for this week's Tip the Players segment, we're going to do something just a little bit different. What we're normally going to try to do is have a dealer at a casino give a good gaming tip for you, the listener. We always want to remind you to please tip your dealer, and in return, they're going to tip you by giving you some good advice. This week, we don't have a dealer to come on the show. Aaron and I are actually heading out to Las Vegas in about a week or two to hopefully round up some interviews and talk to some dealers. And
I brought my rope. I brought some other incentives.
I can't imagine how much tipping I'm actually going to have to do at the tables to get them to come on the show, which basically is a bribe. But we'll do what we have to for the listener, for the show.
I like the half now, half later sort of style.
Of tipping?
Well, you give them a little bit, and then you say, when you're on our show, you can have the rest.
Tear $100 bill in half.
That's the best.
I think you're onto something, man. I like that. Because I think it might be kind of hard to break a chip in half.
I could do it. I would have the tools.
So that's the purpose of this segment, to remind you to please tip your dealers. They're working hard for you. And in return, they're going to hopefully, if we can sweet talk a few dealers into giving some good advice, give you some good advice in return. So this week, what we'll do is we're going to go over our trip report, since we just finished up talking about it. And the piece of advice that we'd like to give is staying off strip isn't necessarily the cheaper option for a trip. I stayed at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino, and Aaron, you and Katie stayed at.
We were at the Palazzo. And what was your base price without the resort fee and everything, Chris?
My base price was $129.
See, that's a good price.
Yeah.
Although I was at $149 for the Palazzo
Which you booked through Priceline.
through the name your own price feature.
Right. So that's a really good price. And you got, I would say, in terms of comparing the two hotels, yours is probably more along the lines of 4-star. Mine is along the lines of 2.5, maybe.
Well, I thought that Palazzo was a 5-star.
Oh, is it?
I thought so.
Okay, I know it's newer. I know it's a relatively new hotel, and
Yeah,
the Rio
there's only
is,
a few 5-star hotels in Vegas. It's definitely nicer than the
Yeah.
Rio, I'd have to say. It's an all suite hotel.
Did I just
so-
insult you by implying that you would stay at a 4-star?
No, I like 4-star hotels like the Mirage.
So the price wise, Aaron, as far as base price goes, you ended up paying roughly $30 more than I did. However, I think it's worth breaking down the extra expenses that we both incurred. Okay,
I didn't really have any taxis to get anywhere because I was already on the strip. So
right, but
you have the extra expenses.
Right, and this one is you're the master negotiator. So we got to our hotels relatively early, and we told this story in episode 1. With brief recap here for this segment. We got to our hotels roughly 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Check-in time isn't until 4 o'clock. So if you want to get into your room early, you're going to have to pay a little bit extra. I ended up paying $20 to check into my room before 4 o'clock. Aaron, you sweet talked, or why don't you?
I sweet talked a bit, but I got in pretty early because of that.
And you didn't pay a dime.
I did not. But I could have paid $70,
which is what they wanted to charge you.
Which is what they wanted for me to be able to check in before 3 o'clock now, and I don't even know if they're moving it to 4.
For the Rio, it was 4 o'clock as check-in time.
Yeah, I think they still said it was 3 o'clock, I believe.
Okay, which seems really late for a check-in time, because check-out time is what, 11?
11. You can always get, a tip, though. You can always get an extension.
True,
for the most part on your checkout.
But they charge you for that too.
I've never been charged.
Well, they'll try to, let's put it that way. They'll try to charge you for that.
I mean, if it's like a 4 p.m. checkout or whatever, I think they'll try to charge you the half day rate or something. I have seen that.
Right.
But you can actually just call and you say, oh, I'm running a little late, or, can I have a little more time? And if they say no, you just say, oh, come on, please. And it usually works to even get a half an hour, an extra hour. It makes a big difference for me. I leave at 12 or I leave at 1, depending on how generous they are.
Okay, so I ended up paying $20 on top of that.
You paid to upgrade the room. You paid to upgrade the room for $6.
Right. So there's another $6. So we'll do the math.
You didn't do the $8 on top of that upgrade. I mean, you weren't a baller like that.
No.
Okay, so $6. So now we're even closer.
Right. Well, let's add it up. We'll do the 129 plus the 6 is 135.
Yeah.
And then the extra 20 is 145.
And the
55.
20 was for getting in the room earlier, the early check-in.
Yeah. So now we're at 155. Already, my base price has jumped past yours, and I'm off strip, and not as nice of a hotel.
That's true.
Yeah. And then you have to consider adding in all the cab fare that I spent getting to and from you guys who are staying on the strip. You guys were in the heart of it.
If you were there by yourself, though, wouldn't you have gone to the strip anyway as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
yeah. Once I took a cab from there to meet up with you guys, that was $15. And at the end of that evening, a cab back from Palazzo back over there, that was another $15, so that's $30. And then the next morning, I took a cab from there to Planet Hollywood, which was $10.
Yeah, and we don't know how much you would have done if you were on the strip, if you would have taken a cab to, from Palazzo to Planet Hollywood.
True. And people should know that there are free transportation alternatives. You can take the bus. You can take, if you're patient enough, you can take a free shuttle from the Rio to, I believe it goes to Paris. It makes 2 other stops, but there is a free shuttle. So yeah.
So I win. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I guess what we're getting at in a very long roundabout way is if you are staying off strip and you're hoping to save a little bit of money because the off strip properties are a little bit cheaper, if other people in your party are staying on strip, or if you plan to go hang out on strip, consider the cab fare that you're going to spend on your trip. Build that into the price of the room and just stay on the strip. That would be my advice. And with that little piece of advice, we're going to bring episode 2 of Faces and Aces Las Vegas to an end. Coming up next week, we have an interview with James, a dealer at a local Southern California casino. A special shout out to the 360 Vegas guys who are hosting Vegas Vacation 2. We look forward to meeting you and seeing you there. Our website is facesandaceslv.com. Our email address is contact@facesandaceslv.com. Our phone number is 702-381-3657. Please subscribe to us over on iTunes, and please leave us a 5-star review. I want to thank you for listening, and thank you, Katie and Aaron, for sitting in with us. And remember,
what happens in Vegas
ends up on the podcast.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
Charlie, you ever play roulette?
On occasion.
Well, let me give you a word of advice. Always bet on black.
Go.